I never thought a fence could ruin my life or save it. At 5 in the morning, I woke to the sound of metal and wood screaming together, and when I ripped open the blinds, I saw a silver Mustang folded into what used to be my cedar fence. The engine ticked in the cold smoke curling, and in that moment, I knew nothing in our neighborhood would ever be the same. Because behind the wheel was Brad Dawson, the teenage terror of Oak Street, son of none other than our HOA president, Karen Dawson. And she would rather set the world on fire than let her perfect boy take the blame. It started like a bad dream. My wife Sam sat up, phone light on her face, already dialing 911 while I pulled on boots. Out in the damp air, the smell of burnt rubber clung heavy. Brad staggered from the wreck, lanky and glassy-eyed, muttering nonsense. "Crazy, right? Your fence, it just jumped out." I didn't answer. The skid marks gouged deep into the asphalt told the real story. He'd come around the corner too fast, lost control, and my property paid the price. Then, as if on cue, she appeared, Karen Dawson, silk robe flapping like a villain out of a bad soap opera. She didn't look at the car, or the wreckage, or her dazed son. She came straight at me. "Maddox, what did you do?" I laughed, flat and tired. "Morning, Karen. Your boy just test drove my fence." "It's a trap fence," she snapped. "Too close to the road. My Bradley could have been killed." "He's fine," I said. "My fence isn't." Her eyes narrowed, and that was the first shot of a war I didn't ask for. By the time the cops rolled up, Brad was fumbling with a mint strip. Karen was shrieking about emotional distress, and the officers were pulling nitrous canisters out of his car. When the cuffs clicked, Karen howled like she was the one being arrested. But I knew this wasn't over. I told myself to stay calm, let the law handle it. But a week later, a fluorescent HOA notice appeared stapled to my mailbox. Fines for neglected property and a bill for $1,750. The kicker, the signature at the bottom, Karen Dawson. That same day, she posted in the neighborhood forum that certain residents were attracting chaos by building illegal structures. She even cropped a picture of my shattered fence so the car wasn't visible. The gall was unreal. Sam smirked and uploaded the door cam video of the crash captioned with a poll. Did the fence jump? Options: no and also no. Within minutes, neighbors were piling on with sarcasm. But I wasn't laughing. That official letter was real, and it threatened daily fines until I fixed the eyesore. I remember sitting at the kitchen table with the notice in one hand and my head in the other, wondering if she was right. Maybe I should have placed the fence differently. Maybe the easiest thing would be to cave to pay, to let it go. The thought of endless fights with Karen, endless harassment. I could feel myself breaking. But Sam wouldn't let me. She put her hand on mine, steady as stone. "Cole, we have proof, video, reports. Don't let her gaslight you." And she was right. That moment, her calm and my storm pulled me back from the edge. If Karen wanted a war, I'd fight, but on my terms. At the HOA meeting, Karen strutted in like a queen. She called me negligent, claimed my ruined fence was a hazard, demanded the board ratify her fines. She expected me to sputter and shout, to look like the troublemaker. Instead, I stood, slow, opened a folder, and laid out piece by piece the police report, naming her son, the contract with the fence company, waiting on her insurance payout, the original city inspection that approved my fence, and finally, sweetest of all, the HOA approval form signed by Karen herself 3 years ago. Her face went crimson. The room turned on her. One neighbor muttered about hearing Brad's car roaring late at night. Another grumbled about nearly being clipped on the sidewalk. Karen banged her gavel, desperate to steer the meeting back to mailbox paint colors, but the spell had cracked. For the first time, she wasn't untouchable. Still, I knew exposure wasn't enough. The truth is slippery in her hands. And then we founded a delivery van's dash cam. Sam dug up footage of Brad's Mustang and 2 other cars staging in the neighborhood. That led us to more surveillance than drone footage, kids sneaking into the HOA clubhouse after midnight, using it like their private garage. They had a master key, and there was only one person who could have handed it over. Karen wasn't just covering for her son. She was enabling him. We baited the hook. Sam built a fake online profile DriftKing77 selling hard-to-find WRX injectors at a steal. Within days, Brad's crew bit. We set the meeting at a Home Depot lot off Route 9 and passed every detail to Detective Miller, the cop who'd arrested Brad the first time. That night, Sam and I sat in the dark phones, clutched, hearts pounding. At 10:15, a text buzzed, "Blue Subaru on scene. Honda and Mustang joining. We move in 5." I pictured the parking lot, the unmarked vans boxing them in. A chase broke out on foot, kids scattering, cops tackling them in garden aisles between tiki torches. And Brad, he just stood there, stunned, no mommy to scream at the cops this time. What they found after sealed the deal. A storage unit rented under a fake name packed with stolen tools plates from 10 different states and a ledger in Brad's own handwriting. Every race, every bet, every stolen part. Karen's golden boy wasn't just reckless, he was running books for a criminal ring. Court was the final act. The prosecutor laid out our 911 call, police reports, dash cam, drone footage, everything. Karen took the stand, painted Brad as a misunderstood mechanic who fell in with the wrong crowd. But the prosecutor slid a document across the table, a log proving Karen had signed out a master key that was never returned. She froze, lips trembling. No report of a lost key, no excuse. She'd handed it to her son. The jury saw through her instantly. The verdict was swift. Brad and his crew guilty on felony counts. Probation, restitution, community service. Karen stripped of her presidency in a unanimous HOA vote, her power crumbling like the lies she'd spun. That night, as I stood on my porch, staring at the empty space where the Dawson's for sale sign would soon appear, I felt no triumph. Just relief and a bone-deep reminder. Some fights you don't choose. Some fights crash into your fence at 5 in the morning. But once they do, you have to decide roll over or stand up. Because in the end, truth doesn't shout. It waits patient and steady until lies collapse under their own weight.